Right now, after 3 weeks of contentious courtroom drama, what's being said in closing arguments of the Darrell Brooks trial?
Also, with just 2 weeks left in the campaigns, early voting is getting underway in the state. We'll tell you what you need to know.
That's some startling video from to our north when an alleged drunk driver loses control. You're watching News 3 now at 5. Well, like the rest of the Darrell Brooks trial, today's closing arguments had several starts and stops.
Brooks, who is defending himself, has just begun making his final case to the jury. The prosecution gave its closing argument about an hour ago. Our Brady Mallory gives us a rundown of the day so far. Brady?
Judge Jennifer Doro removed Brooks from the courtroom, just as she's done throughout the trial, because he kept interrupting proceedings earlier today. Now, moments ago, Brooks and Judge Doro clashed about a term called jury nullification. Brooks claims a jury can give him a not guilty verdict, even if members believe he's guilty. Judge Doro said Brooks is absolutely not allowed to do that, and said she would dismiss the jury if he does, and he would forego his right to make his closing argument, which he is now doing his closing argument. As for the prosecution's closing argument, it largely focused on intent. District Attorney Sue Opper says evidence shows this was an intentional act for Brooks, and he had multiple opportunities to just stop his SUV. She pinpointed the fact several witnesses said he was honking his horn when he was driving through the parade.
If you see something in the road and you want to alert the other person to your presence, you will honk. But you do not have the green light to then just keep going if they don't move. He knew they were there. Intent.
And once again, we are monitoring court proceedings as Brooks has just begun making his closing argument. We will work to bring you those comments on air and online as this case wraps up.
Brady, thank you. Fitchburg police arrested 2 people they say were connected with that rollover crash, and a shots fired call happened in a neighborhood off Fish Hatchery Road yesterday morning. A 44-year-old man faces charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm and endangering safety by reckless use of a firearm. A 41-year-old woman was arrested on a parole violation. Now, this comes after a report of shots being fired on Coho Street. A rollover crash was reported about 10 minutes later in a neighborhood off Post Road. An investigation into the incident remains open, and police are looking for a vehicle they say was targeted in that shooting, described as a white or silver sedan, likely with damage consistent with being shot by a shotgun.
A little bit soggy out right now, but drier conditions are in Gary's forecast. He's out on the weather patio with the umbrella. Hi, Gary.
Yeah, I've got the umbrella here, but the good news is the rain should end tonight, and then we've got another prolonged period of dry weather. We actually could use the rain. You can see it's been pretty steady from Madison on toward the east. The western parts of our viewing area have missed out on a lot of the rain today. In fact, as we zoom into southern Wisconsin on Doppler track, basically you draw a line from about Platteville to Sauk City to around Westfield, and east of there it's been almost continuous rain. West of there, very little in the way of rain. And 6-hour future track radar shows the back edge of the rain slowly moving off to the north and east. So with time, we'll see that rain end from west to east across southern Wisconsin, and after midnight, I think most of it will be over with. High temperatures today, very early this morning. 65 in Madison right after midnight. Milwaukee is still at 72. Notice those temperatures out to the west. That was already behind the cold front, and now we're seeing temperatures mainly in the 40s across southern Wisconsin. Madison's actually dropped to 43, but farther to the west where the rain has stopped, temperatures are in the lower 50s. Across Dane County right now, 45 in Oregon, 46 in Mount Horeb, and 42 degrees in Sun Prairie. Look for mostly cloudy skies, showers from Madison on toward the east, continuing this evening as temperatures hold nearly steady in the middle 40s, but we'll dry out for tomorrow and then see a warming trend as we head toward the weekend. I'll have more on your weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. We are officially 2 weeks now from the 2022 midterm elections,
which means in-person absentee voting kicked off today. Our Andrew Banstra is in the studio with the story. Andrew?
More than 1,000 people in Madison jumped right away into early voting today. The city's clerk's office released that around 2 o'clock today, they announced that already 1,000 people had participated in their in-person absentee voting. The November 8th election has some big races, but there will likely be more voters this time around than we saw in 2020. That means clerks also expect fewer absentee ballots as a whole. Still, anyone who can legally vote can vote absentee if they'd like. Madison offers 32 locations to do so, but the process is a little bit different if you live outside of Madison.
If you live in a village or a township, you're going to want to go to your town hall, your village hall, so you can't just go anywhere in the county. In Madison, it's a little different in that they have their early voting in the libraries. So if you live on the west side but work on the east side, you can go to any library in the city and vote.
Now, according to Wisconsin Elections Commission, more than 250,000 people have already absentee voted in Wisconsin before today's in-person period began. The absentee voting period ends on November 6th, 2 days before the election day. Officials reminded us that with a lower expected turnout for these midterms, each vote counts that much more. For those that are doing absentee voting, they recommend doing it in person.
Andrew, thank you. And the governor was in Madison today encouraging people to vote early.
Political reporter Will Keneally spoke with the governor at his stop. Will is live on the west side this evening. Will?
Yeah, so with just 2 weeks out left here in the campaign, it's up to the campaigns now to turn out their voters. And that's what we heard at the Evers event today. One of the grassroots organizers at the event said that it is the infrequent voters who could be a boon to Democrats, especially Evers. And Evers himself stressed that early voting lets those voters just get out and get it out of the way.
I think it's important, and especially for people that are doing the canvassing and the phone calling, they can get the vote out of the way. They can start working on the people that they know.
And so we heard from Democrats up and down the ticket today, talking up their record on things like abortion or, in Evers' case, fixing the roads. This is ahead of some big names coming to Wisconsin coming up this week. We have Elizabeth Warren tomorrow, Pete Buttigieg on Friday, both on the UW-Madison campus. But also today, we saw Ron Johnson over in Waukesha hold a similar event, encouraging people to get out to vote as early voting is starting today, which is now just 2 weeks before the November election. Reporting from Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate and Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes also voted early today. Barnes, who is challenging Republican Senator Ron Johnson, cast his vote at the Milwaukee Area Technical College. A CNN poll released yesterday showed the two candidates in a close race, with Johnson favored by 50% of likely voters, Barnes at 49%. There are thousands of eligible voters in jails across Wisconsin, but many are finding it challenging to exercise that right behind bars.
Inmates awaiting trial or serving misdemeanors, no non-felony convictions, can legally vote, but ballot barriers mean few actually do. And Tahlil Mahadeen joins us to explain why some advocates say that needs to change. Tahlil?
Eric and Susan, the ACLU estimates only 50 people in jails across Wisconsin submitted a ballot in 2020. A report showing, they say, is linked to a lack of inmate voting protocols in jails. New estimates from the advocacy group show roughly 32 of Wisconsin's 72 jails have brief and vague inmate voting policies. And at least 18, including Dane and Columbia County, there are no written policies at all. Leaders with the Dane County Voter ID Coalition say without clear support from jail leadership, many inmates don't even know they're eligible.
I want people who are in the jail, maybe because they have made a mistake, to feel like they can rejoin society as a productive member of our community. And if they feel like they have a voice in government, you know, maybe that helps them do that.
They say the biggest challenge for people wanting to vote inside, unable to move freely, is having access to an acceptable voter ID. Now, for their part, leaders from the Dane County Jail say despite not having a written inmate voting policy in place, they have taken steps to break barriers. We'll take a closer look at those measures tonight at 6.
Tahlil, thank you. There is a crucial debate tonight in a hotly contested Senate race in Pennsylvania. Could determine the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz and Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman will face off for their one and only debate tonight. A new CBS News poll now considers the open Pennsylvania seat to be a virtual toss-up, with Fetterman clinging to a 2-point lead. In Florida, incumbent Governor Ron DeSantis and his challenger Charlie Crist sparred in the one and only debate of their race. One of the most fiery moments occurred when Crist confronted DeSantis on speculation he may run for president in 2024.
Why don't you look in the eyes of the people of the state of Florida and say to them, if you're reelected, you will serve a full 4-year term as governor, yes or no?
But I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn-out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist.
Now, polls show Governor DeSantis leads Chris by double digits.
Bowing to mounting pressure, Adidas announced it is ending its partnership with Kanye West, who now goes by the name Ye. The superstar, who has acknowledged mental health issues in the past, has recently made a series of hateful and threatening remarks, including that he would go to DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. In a recent video, he seemed to taunt the sportswear giant.
I could literally say anti-Semitic and they can't drop me. I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?
I think making these statements and spreading this slander and anti-Semitism, there needed to be consequences. Yes, I would have liked to have it happen sooner, but I'm glad it happened now.
Adidas estimates it will lose nearly $250 million in net income from the move. The Gap and Balenciaga fashion house have also ended business relationships with the rapper.
American basketball star Brittany Griner lost her appeal in a Moscow court today to overturn her 9-year prison sentence. Griner watched her appeal to the Moscow Regional Court from her cell via a video link, a translator passing the proceedings on to her. Griner's lawyers argued her sentence was unfair and unjustified under Russian law, but a court upheld her 9-year sentence in a penal colony for drug smuggling. Griner's lawyers had argued that she inadvertently packed the cannabis canisters.
A follow-up to yesterday's school shooting in St. Louis, where police say the 19-year-old gunman was armed with an AR-15 style rifle and more than 600 rounds of ammunition. A teacher and a 15-year-old girl were killed in the shooting. Investigators say the shooter also left behind a handwritten note explaining his actions. 10th grader Alexandria Bell and 61-year-old physical education teacher Jean Kuska died. 7 students were wounded. Police killed the gunman in an exchange of gunfire.
2 earthquakes hit the San Francisco area today. The first, a 5.1 quake that hit near San Jose, rattled some windows, shelves, and nerves across the Bay Area. A 3.1 aftershock hit 4 minutes later. No major damage was reported. We have some incredible video of what happens when you drive apparently under the influence. This is from the Eau Claire Police Department. In the video, you can see a dark-colored sedan attempting to make a left turn onto another street, but instead, it leaves the road there, drives over the median, smashing into that stopped vehicle there, waiting to turn right. Amazingly and fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Police arrested the driver and claim his blood alcohol level was .242. Just ahead, how health experts want you to be aware of a 3-headed monster this winter and to be as protected as possible.
This as the president receives his updated COVID booster. They'll have the latest health recommendations coming up.
Wall Street seeing gains in Tuesday trading. The Dow up 337 points. The Nasdaq at 246.5. The S&P 500 closes up 62. And we'll be right back.
Jurassic Quest is back and bigger than ever. Celebrate Halloween weekend at Jurassic Quest. Come dressed in your favorite costume for a chance to win a prize. And join us for Trick or Treat this weekend only in Madison. Buy tickets in advance for best selection at JurassicQuest.com.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units, all units. Reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
Add character from floor to ceiling with 11% off everything at Menards. Upgrade your home today with Shaw Flooring. From soft and luxurious carpet to durable laminate flooring or waterproof vinyl plank. Save 11% at all Shaw Flooring. Find your style with Patriot Lighting. Ceiling fans make a beautiful addition to any room while helping you save on energy costs year-round. Get 11% off all Patriot Lighting ceiling fans at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Keep bragging about your buck after the hunt with wild game processing from Johnson's Sausage Shop in Ryle, Wisconsin. Friends enjoy a hunting story more over a jalapeno cheddar stick. Johnson's Sausage Shop accepts wild game 7 days a week. First bucks in are the first brats out.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape or Edge and get 0% financing for 66 months.
If you overdraw your account, Wells Fargo gives you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with a grace period? Like accidentally parking where you shouldn't.
Hey, what about this one? Nah, that one gets an extra day. Somebody got lucky.
Like having an extra day grace period? When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Tonight at 6, early voting began today. News 3 now takes a look at the process in small communities.
We share everything you need to know for this election that's coming up on News 3 Now tonight at 6.
As political ads bombard you with campaign promises and claims to capture your vote, News 3 Now gives you a reality check, clarifying the candidates' messages and finding the facts to help you make informed choices. Reality Check, Wednesdays on News 3 Now at 6.
The updated COVID vaccine was rolled out to the public last month, but so far Americans have been slow to roll up their sleeves.
And President Biden invited the media today to watch as he received the updated shot.
I'm calling on all Americans. Seems like you're having to make this case again. All Americans to get their shots just as soon as they can. Your old vaccine or your previous COVID infection will not give you maximum protection.
So far, only 19.4 million Americans have received the latest shot. That's about 17% of the U.S. population. President Biden also called on Congress to provide new funding so that COVID vaccine shots can continue to be free to all Americans. And medical experts are sounding the alarm about a possible triple-demic that could unfold this winter with cases of COVID, along with flu and RSV, all expected to rise. Christian Benavides has more.
The season is already off to a rough start, with respiratory illnesses spiking around the country. Experts are concerned about a possible triple-demic.
We have 3 respiratory viruses, RSV, influenza, and COVID, rising at the same time. Obviously, that's something we're going to monitor very closely.
Pediatric hospitals in many states are at capacity, with kids fighting respiratory infections. But White House COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha says Americans are not powerless in this situation. Getting vaccinated could make a big difference.
We have flu shots that keep people out of the hospital. We have COVID shots. We have a brand new COVID shot that is formulated against the virus that's out there right now. That will keep people out of the hospital, prevent people from getting seriously ill.
Dr. Jha stresses that keeping people out of the hospital is critical when so many viruses are circulating, so hospitals do not get overwhelmed. Taking common sense precautions such as staying home when sick and washing hands can also help keep everyone healthy. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Now, while there are vaccines, of course, for COVID and flu, there's no RSV vaccine yet. Several companies are working on it, and Dr. Jha says he hopes a vaccine may be available within a year.
Check out this video from Bozeman, Montana. A foot of snow fell in some parts over the weekend, blanketing the area and causing damage to trees. Cleanup crews were out picking up debris caused by the snow. Some areas recorded 16 inches of snowfall.
No, nothing quite as dramatic in our forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Kinalte has more. Gary?
Yeah, they can use all the snow they can get out west because that helps build up the snowpack and then results in more water into the rivers during the spring. So let's hope that that continues out west. Our rainfall has been much more temperate by nature. This over the last 24 hours, Rain Vision rainfall estimates, area of about a quarter to half inch of rain from Madison on toward the south and east, less than a quarter of an inch of rain west of Dane County, and then some heavier amounts out across parts of Crawford, Vernon County up toward the La Crosse area, and much of that was from the previous night. If you add it all together from the previous day, most of southern Wisconsin got a pretty good soaking rain. Half inch to an inch of rain from Madison on toward the south and east, and also the western parts of our viewing area. The least amount of rain fell from around Platteville to Lone Rock up toward the Dells, but even that area got somewhere between about a quarter and a half inch of rain. You can see the sharp western edge of the rain that has been moving through southern Wisconsin. This is high resolution Doppler radar. And from Madison on toward the east, it's been raining pretty steadily, but it's been a very light rain for the most part. You get out west of Platteville, Lone Rock, and the Dells. And for the most part, it's been dry, and there's even been a little bit of sunshine mixed in with the clouds there. But this last batch of rain moving on through as the whole area starts to shift off to the east. I think most of the rain will be over with by about midnight across much of southern Wisconsin. And you can see 6-hour future track radar taking us to just before midnight, brings the back edge of the range to about Beloit and Jefferson, and then up toward the Fox Valley. So once that pulls off to the east, we go into a dry weather pattern again. 3 things you need to know. Tomorrow will be sunny, breezy, and cool. High temperatures in the lower 50s. But we'll see dry weather from tomorrow all the way through Tuesday of next week, and even the middle part of next week. Now, the rain chance is looking a lot more iffy, and mild weather will return. Temperatures should be near or above 60 degrees beginning on Thursday or Friday and lasting all the way through at least the end of next week. I've got high temperatures up around 60 by the end of next week. But you can see this last batch of rain circulating around an area of low pressure, some severe thunderstorms down to the south, but notice the clearing to the north and west. That's a sign of things to come for tomorrow. Metro Futurecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, cooler, showers coming to an end, low temperature dropping to 40. Plan your day or your night for tonight. Again, that back edge of the rain gradually shifting off to the east. This is 9 p.m., but notice by midnight, I think that's pretty much out of our area. Skies start to clear a little bit out to the west. Those temperatures start to drop off in areas that have a little clearing. So Madison at 43 at 3 a.m., then down to about 40 by 6 a.m. But notice the western part of our area, they clear out, and temperatures already down into the middle to upper 30s. Rainfall amounts, again, less than 1/10 of an inch. Eastern Dane County, maybe as much as 1/4 to 1/2 inch over Jefferson and Rock counties before the rain finally comes to an end. And again, for tomorrow, look for a high of 53 degrees with skies becoming mostly sunny. 7 to 10 day forecast, mid-50s Thursday, upper 50s Friday, around 60 for the weekend, and then temperatures lower 60s next week. Notice Halloween looks dry, and the next chance of rain, the middle part of next week, probably the better chances for rain start Friday night into next weekend. As we check out first warning traffic right now, there were some slowdowns on the Beltline. Looks like those have cleared up a little bit. Still seeing some delays on the westbound Beltline from Verona Road back to Fish Hatchery Road, eastbound from about Monona Drive to John Nolan Drive. Travel times right now, about a 20-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate, 20 minutes inbound on US 151 and East Washington Avenue toward downtown. Heading out of Madison, 25 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990, 16 minutes middle to the Sauk City on US 12, downtown to Sun Prairie, a 20-minute trip. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. Coming up, they've been gone for 6 months. 90 National Guard units return for a Wisconsin homecoming. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original windows. Boom.
There's no need to be afraid of old windows. Call Feldco for 50% off.
It's the biggest sale of the season. 50% off Feldco windows, plus no money down and no interest until 2024.
50% off ends Halloween. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
A 12-year-old girl can't legally drive a car. At 12, she can't even vote. But if this little girl were tragically raped or a victim of incest and became pregnant, Radical Tim Michaels would force her to deliver the baby. He said it's, quote, not unreasonable for the state government to mandate rape victims to give birth. Would it be unreasonable if he were forcing this on you? Let him know on Election Day.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland.
As in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor.
Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it,
Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
It really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Nice.
The Internet of Things is evolving, creating the Internet of You.
And Spectrum, America's leading internet and mobile provider, is bringing you seamless connectivity across all your devices. Introducing Spectrum One. Spectrum internet with speeds of 300 megabits, advanced Wi-Fi, and Spectrum Mobile Unlimited, all for just $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999. Spectrum internet delivers speeds up to a gig with over 99.9% network reliability. Advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security and privacy that automatically blocks threats to protect all of your devices. And Spectrum Mobile gives you unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G and the most reliable service coast to coast. Switch now. Call 833-673-4999. At Spectrum, it's not just about connecting things, it's about connecting you. Get it all with Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today. Vitense Golfland offers a free Top Tracer golf range experience. Obtain valuable shot information with warm-up, track your shot history with My Practice, play virtual golf, long drive, points game, go fish. Only at Vitense Golfland.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
There are dozens of happy husbands, wives, and children in Wisconsin tonight seeing their loved ones for the first time in 6 months.
The 128th Air National Guard welcome back about 90 service members from the deployment to the Middle East. This was the third and final deployment. The squadron's commander, Cynthia Bergman, who is retiring from the Guard after 20 years, and she was thrilled to reunite with her husband and 3 children at Volk Field.
We talked almost every day on the phone, but it certainly is different to hug and to be there and to just help out around the house, you know, like moms are supposed to, right?
Bergman says hard to overstate the valuable life skills she's learned as a commander and plans to use them in her civilian job. The 128th Air Control Squadron last deployed to the Middle East in 2017, but has helped with COVID relief and welcoming Afghan refugees while stateside. We're back with a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh called. He was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
Fall in love with a stylish and quality dining room set this fall, like my Montana dining collection. Get the table with 6 chairs, only $9.99, or table, 4 chairs, and storage bench, still only $9.99. Like a little height? I won't hold it against you. My counter height sets are the same price, with financing options to fit your budget. With Bob's discount, style and value fall into place, so you can afford the farmhouse look you love. Family dinner is back on the menu. Just don't forget to save me a seat. I don't take up much room.
Get Bob's discount!
A Stanley steamer started with 1 man, a van, and a whole lot of carpet. We've been innovating for a long time. Stanley steamer now goes beyond carpet. We've been cleaning tile and grout, upholstery, rugs, air ducts, and a whole lot more. We don't just clean carpets, we clean homes. So when your home needs a cleaning, give us a ring at 1-800-STEAMER.
The Jingle Man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go!
Dupixent helps you do more with less asthma and can help you breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Hi, I'm Deb. I'm from Wisconsin, and I'm a conservative. Tim Michael's position on abortion is too strict, too harsh. And while I am pro-life, I am also pro-woman, and I believe we have to be able to have exceptions for rape and incest. We need people that are reasonable when it comes to making laws about health issues and reproductive rights. There's no way I could vote for Tim Michels for governor.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We've got a lot of news to cover tonight. Growing fears of a triple-demic as cases of COVID, RSV, and the flu surge. Plus, our Health Watch, why doctors recommend women of color need to be screened earlier for aggressive forms of breast cancer. And Adidas terminates a deal with Kanye West after he made anti-Semitic comments. The new details, all tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And finally, if you think raking leaves seems like a never-ending task, imagine if you were this homeowner in Colorado. The tumbleweeds gobbled up a home in Security, Colorado. The homeowner looked out the front window, saw the tumbleweeds that gobbled up his home, car, and his front yard. Fortunately, his amazed neighbors, after stopping to take pictures, maybe a few selfies, helped clean up the mess.
They just all stopped at his house? Wasn't it anybody else's house?
I guess not.
Gary, final check of the forecast.
We just have to deal with the leaves, not with the tumbleweeds. For some reason, there's our traffic. Don't need that. Can't
just talk
capacity.
Traffic, Gary.
We got rain that'll be ending from west to east during the evening hours.
Yeah, we'll have more weather updates and a lot more coming your way in 30 minutes on News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News coming up next.